It's about to get Gabby AF.
We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. It's nothing less, cause you rockin' with the best. Now we about to get Gabby AF.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Gabby AF. Gabby AF. I'm so excited because I have finally gotten a hold of one of my favorite people in the entire world to join me on this show. Somebody that not only I am excited to have, but producer Tony is very well known with her as well. So we're going to intro her in together because Tony has a great relationship with my guest as well, and it is Miss Mickie James. So Tony, take it away before we bring her in the beautiful Mickie James.
So as you can see here, me and Gabby are both very, very excited. We both got our rodeo shirts on. Mickie James, the greatest women's wrestler of all time. There's no arguable. It's not arguably. No. It's just, what else could I say? I wanted to make sure I got to say that in the open so that our audience can get very. I don't generally need to be on camera for Gabby AF because I'm trying to keep the ratings up, and I'm just bringing them down right now. But
yes, I allowed him. He asked. And we're excited.
We've got Mickie on the show today. I hope everyone enjoys this interview. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of great topics covered. And I'll leave you to it. Enjoy.
Thanks, Tony. And then without further ado, not just the greatest female wrestler of all time, one of my favorite human beings in the world of all time, and that is Miss Mickie James. Please come on in and join me because I miss you so much, and I'm so happy you're finally here.
It was a little hardcore country, baby. Yeah. That was such a lovely intro. So much.
You're a special guest because not always does the producer be like, you know what, I love her too, and I'm also her producer. Can I talk about her before she comes on? I was like, sure, bring it on, because that's you, Mickie James. That's how much people love you, that people are fighting to just introduce you onto a show.
I appreciate that. And I didn't know that Tony's last name was Cutlets.
It's not. He's trying to be Tommy DeVito.
I popped huge for that. You know I love Tony so much. He helps us so much with golf.
Golf TV is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a 2-time guest on Golf TV, just saying.
You are.
So I kind of know the ropes about that show, but all the ladies on Golf I absolutely love. So definitely go check out Golf TV if you haven't, because they're the best, some of the best women, the kindest women to me, especially with the year that I've had. You guys are all so great. And you always check on me and you all text me. You, Lisa and Val, you're just like my girls, like real girls that are there to support other women and really build you up, especially when things happen. And I say this all the time, every time I talk to you guys, because some people are in your corner when things go bad and you kind of learn who your real friends are, and you kind of learn the people that actually give a shit or don't when something bad happens. Yeah. And you guys are some real ones. So I always remember to appreciate you guys.
I love you. I love you too.
Oh, I'm getting emotional before we even.
Lessons I think to learn in life, and gosh, we've all been faced with them, like the dark times, and it's like true friends will be a light in the darkness, right? And the ones that kind of just disappear and just they weren't
fade.
Your true friends, Yeah. And you say that, but then obviously you have friends who like. I have friends that I haven't talked to in a long time, but then when we chat, we pick right back up where we left off. But those friends will still check on you when they know you're down and out, right? But it's really hard. And it's not like, that's why people go like, oh, I have all these friends, or I have 5 best friends. I'm like, how do you have 5 best friends? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, because the true bonds of friendships, so like it's a friend, sure, but it's not the same as like a true blue ride or die kind of friend, because those are the people that are going to love you no matter what. Like on your down days, on your up days, they're going to love you just the same. And it's not because they want anything. They just want to, support you, and they want to lift you up, and your friends want to see you win. Right. So
they should want to see you win almost more than you want to see you win. Right. Like for me, the successes of my friends, I get almost more excited about, and I brag more about them because I'm like, look at the people I surround myself with. They're some badass people. Like, I love that. And I just think, you're not going to always be your number one support, but to have a good support system around you is so important. So to be blessed with somebody like you always cheering for me, and you with everything, you're always like, you could do this, or come and do this, or join me here. So like, I always appreciate that. And even you're a very busy lady. Even getting you on this week was not the easiest, but you made the time for me.
I just got back from Miami, and then
and I'm going to Miami this weekend, so we just missed each other, which I'm angry about.
I know. Yeah, you're gonna have a great time. I was only there for less than 24 hours. It was in and out. And it was raining the whole time. I'm just trying to make
it's supposed to
like
rain all weekend.
Miss anything? It was raining. It was the weather was meh.
Yeah. Which is annoying because I'm going for like a trip, like a fun trip. So I'm like annoyed. It's supposed to rain, and I'm like, I'm going to a nice like area where I want to like lay out by the pool and maybe put a bikini on, and I'm like, it's 99% chance rain. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Might as well stay in New Jersey.
Take a bathing suit because I was like, it's gonna rain the whole time. And when do I have time to actually go for a swim? I don't.
Yeah. I don't actually swim. I just bake in the sun. So there's that.
Yeah.
It's the Jersey in me. You always got to be tan.
Yeah.
Fun. Speaking of friends, though, Mickie, I will say I was very excited to hear your friend CM Punk drop your name in his promo on Raw this week, which was very interesting.
That was interesting. I was very shocked by that too. I was like, oh, it's random and interesting. And then he even messaged me after going like, hey, P.S. I dropped your name. I guess, Iggy and me in case my timeline started to blow up, which it did a little bit.
It did. Cool. Yeah.
But it was always, I even said to him, and I know I've said it to him before, and it sounds like a broken record, and I'm sure I've said it in interviews, but I go like, how different our careers would have been if that would have been our launching pad, like if that would have been how we started within WWE, because I was already at OVW, and they were looking at it as to be like a debut and put us together. And I think it was because we would work together at TNA at the time, in the Gathering with Raven, and we had also known each other in Ring of Honor. And so I've known a Punk a very, very long time. I go like, we grew up in this business, and now we're like the grizzled vets. It's so weird to say. Not so grizzled, but actually more grizzled than I let on. I just pretend I'm not grizzled, more gristled. More bristle, less grizzled.
More like that's a good one. You're like glistening though. I wouldn't even call you grizzled because you're like you're Mickie James. You look great. Like let's be for real. But I think it is so interesting to see, if you would have guessed that 2023 you're going to see CM Punk back in the WWE. He already declared himself for like the Rumble of 2024. Like it's just wild what's happening in pro wrestling. And that's why even with someone like you, I'm like, maybe I'm not counting you out of the Rumble, Mickie. I know you're not going to say anything. You can either way, but like I love when you pop up on my screen. And I talked to Tony about this. One of my favorite moments was when you showed up at the Rumble with the title and you came in, and like the pop that you got, like that must have been such a crazy feeling for you.
It was a crazy feeling, and it was a bit surreal because you're hoping and you're praying. You're like, because you fight for all of these things, like my entrance and the Knockouts title, and to be able to represent that and the cross branding and all these other things you fought. And because of my departure, I think, and then to even say I was going to be back in a WWE ring so shortly after, if you would have told me that then, I'd have been like, no way. Like, but just, it's crazy how things work out, like even when you say to see Punk back in a WWE ring, it's kind of crazy. But after he left AEW, I go like, oh, he's going back. I mean, the landscape, everything has changed there. Like, I feel like when you feel like you have unfinished business, you have to kind of put a bow on that business to go like, no, it's just, and even I felt that way, and I was so grateful for what I was able to do at Impact, but then to be able to go back at the Rumble and fight for all of these things and to be able to get them, which was already surreal in my mind. And then I go like, please let these people react. Like, let them please, like, at least let me get a mediocre pop,
God, of course.
Just at least, get a little media. It was insane. And I'd always wanted to be hardcore country in front of the WWE audience. It was something that I always wanted to present to them, and I kind of pitched at it, and they didn't really understand, or it was so far removed from what I was doing between the stuff with Alexa and then the different stuff. So I just couldn't get them to see the vision. And I think me being able to go away, that's why sometimes you don't know. We don't always see these things that happen to us as blessings until you can look back and you can see how far you come after that. Because then I go like, actually, I was able to go away and prove myself and prove that everything that I was saying or like felt that I was fighting for, and then sometimes being humbled or feeling like maybe I'm fighting for the wrong things, or maybe it is my ego, or maybe it is these things. And I go like, no, I was actually right. Like I wasn't wrong. It just wasn't the right time or whatever.
Right.
And to be able to go back and present that to the WWE audience and for them to recognize it and to react the way they did, I was just blown away. And I can't imagine what that reaction might have been had we not had it actually been a surprise. Right?
That's true.
I can't imagine. I'm like, would it have been as loud? Would it have been louder because it was so unexpected? I know nobody, even once I was announced, everyone was going, they're not going to let her be hardcore country. They're certainly not going to talk about Impact. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. And in my mind, because I already knew the conversations that I'd had for, I already knew what I'd asked and what I really truly wanted. And so I was like, I'm just going to let this stay on course as it's going and just stay the course and let it speak for itself. And I'm like, please, people react. And they did. And they did. And the amount of love, because when I left, I go like, oh, maybe, we always downplay ourselves a lot. I think in this business where it's easy to just kind of, perhaps in any business, of to downplay yourself. And it was cool. It was really, really cool. I'm not coming back at this Rumble unless I'm winning because, hardcore country at WrestleMania, it prints itself.
I mean,
because the winner gets a title shot at WrestleMania. If you're not a wrestling fan here, folks, if you win the Rumble, you automatically get a title shot. I'm coming.
Who you going for if you win the Rumble this year? Who do you want?
Oh man,
come on. Give it to me, Mickie.
I know. I'm like,
set up the headlines now. Just
Rhea.
Yes, I was hoping you were going to say Rhea.
Why? Because I've never faced her. I never had a chance to even wrestle her, and I think mommy needs to take on the mother.
Ooh. Take my money. Take my money right now. And then put Dom in his place too. You know what I mean? Like little dirty Dom. Little
dirty Dom. True story. I've known. It's so weird to see Dom, and I'm so happy for him. And God, he's such a natural, and he's just killing it. But Amazing. I've known Dom since he was little, since he was Donovan's, when Donovan, even younger than Donovan, is when I first met Dom. And to see him grow and just really just embrace all of this. And then I even said, I go where was he training? Where was he practice? I'm sure because obviously it's a wrestling family and stuff like that. And he was very protected, but it's not like you saw him getting ready to be a wrestler on the independents. You didn't see him down at NXT or hear that vibe of Dom is now training up to it. Or anything. Yeah. It's just out of the blue, out of nowhere. Here he goes. And he's phenomenal. And he's the little things he's just got natural instincts where I'm like, hey, it must have been in the garage. And in the garage, I'm sure there was a ring set up or a training facility that only he and Ray were allowed to go into, and Conan probably. And, I can't figure it out.
It's crazy because I will say he gets on the mic and the boos that are so incredibly loud for him. And I mentioned this on my podcast at some time. I make my roommate watch pro wrestling with me, who's not a fan, but it's always on in the living room.
Right.
And he comes on and she's like, oh my God, it's so bad. I can't hear what he's saying because the crowd is booing him so loud. And I go, yeah, that's a good thing. That means he's good at what he's doing because it's insane. And I think what he's doing with Rhea is just, and Judgment Day in general is just hitting it out of the park every week on Raw. It's what I look forward to seeing.
Yeah.
And just Rhea Ripley in and of itself, where she's come to this year is incredible to me because I just think she's the best thing on Raw to see as a female, as this powerhouse, the strength that she has, the look that she has. Mm-hmm. It's so good that I don't want to see her lose. I can't even see somebody else do what she's doing.
You don't want me to beat her.
I would love for you to beat her. If you were in the story, then Rhea, go cry about it.
For country when I beat Rhea Ripley,
Listen, I would pop so hard I might break something. Something might tear in me. I might hurt myself. If you come out and then challenge Rhea, for sure, that would be amazing. Yeah. But what she's doing, and I think what she's doing for the female division in WWE, because it's just hitting across all cylinders right now. She's so damn good. And she's so young. It's like insane because you forget about that sometimes. She's only like 26, 27 years old.
Right.
And she's a
beast. Be careful.
She's...
Some people think that's not young, you know.
Okay. Well, that is young. That's younger than me. So it's young because I still consider myself young. So
baby.
Then yes, it's young. Who would say that was someone would say that's old?
I certainly feel like there were times, you know, where people are silly. I don't pay attention half the time. The mute button is my favorite thing a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say, I felt like Rhea was destined for this star. Like, you know how you can just look at somebody and they have this special quality, the it factor,
star quality.
Right? They have this like special, unique thing about them, and you find them very captivating. And I think that Rhea's always been that, and she's always owned that. To be able to step into what she's doing now, I feel like I can't think since China, I can't think of a more empowering, like strong female role that's like really, really dominated the television screen like that. You know what I mean? If you look at it, like, I mean, she is like probably this generation's China, in my opinion. And the heat that they have together, and like you said, Dom, it's like magma heat, but it's like you turned your back on your father, who is the
I know,
greatest baby face since Ricky Steamboat. You know, like one of the greatest baby faces of all time. How can you not love Rey Mysterio? And then you think about like, and look at this rotten little twerp.
Literally. You want to be like this little bitch? This little bit. You could curse, it's fine. This little piece of shit, like against his father who got helped him, you know what I mean? Like he's in this business. Yeah, you ungrateful. Entitled. Yeah, brat. You dirty little brat.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You DLB. That's what it's short for. That's Dom. He's a DLB. He's a dirty little brat. Okay? I don't like that shit. And I'm not even a parent, and I would hate it if he was my kid. You know what I mean?
Like, if he was my child, he'd catch a whooping.
Donovan would never. He's a sweetheart. Donovan's the sweetest.
He's not. Oh, you're not. He is a mama's boy, and he loves me.
You got the GM, too, in your house now. Nick Aldis will make sure that shit didn't go down. You know what I mean? How cool is that, by the way?
A big fine. Big fine.
Big fine. We might have to call Adam Pearce to also find him on Mondays. You know what I mean? You never know.
What?
How cool is it to see Nick on like SmackDown and like what he's doing? Because he's so good. Like, is that not awesome?
It's amazing. It's amazing. You know, I can't imagine moving your whole life over here. And obviously perhaps I'm biased because it's my husband, but I've also watched Nick for over a decade now. And, you know, just to move his whole life over here for a chance and for, you know, to come over as Magnus at Impact. And that's kind of where I met him in 2010. And the love story began and all the things, but I've watched him work so hard, and I've, you know, seen him being turned down and told no and all the things. And then the work that he was able to do at NWA, I was so proud of him.
Yeah.
You know, like I was so proud of him because not only was he like helping, you know, build this brand back up from the depths of like nobody even had NWA on their map anymore. Right. People were starting to talk about that and starting to remember the nostalgia behind the championship and all that. But he also was able to rebrand himself as the national treasure and come out with these suits and the custom made suits.
So good.
And I was so proud of him because it's like, it was a real confidence thing, you know? Yeah. And I think that for a long time, I think we both had kind of accepted like, okay, well, maybe just WWE isn't in the cards, you know, for him. And it was sucked because it was always his dream. It was always his dream, you know, Triple H is his all-time favorite wrestler, you know, like
it's amazing.
All of these. And I'm like, it was sad because how do you as his wife and who I've had the opportunity to go there and how do I, you know, understand and show compassion because, you know, you have so many friends who try to make it and all the things, but it's different when it's your husband, you know, and for him to finally get his opportunity to go there. And then sure, it's not a wrestling role, but I feel like this role is even more perfect because we all know Nick can wrestle his ass off. Like we know what he's capable of. He's a champion, right? But this role is so perfect because one thing he's always been great at is talking, is being able to talk. And he is so good in this role. And I think the different dynamics and the possibilities, and there's always, like, I think in the back there, you never know, because I know if he ever gets an opportunity to wrestle and whatever that might be, he's going to kill it. He's going to nail it. He's going to kill it. But I think that he's having, and I can see it. I can see how much fun he's having out there. And just like in our conversations, like he's happy. He's so happy because it's that finally he's able to like say, I did it. And then like to be able to call his mom, who this is one of the reasons why he moved here in the United States in the first place and away from his mom, be able to call his mom and go like, Mom, I'm gonna be on WWE. I'm gonna be, she was just happy when she thought he might be an agent producing and stuff. And then she was crying. She was in tears, and it's just like,
oh my gosh.
It makes me like, I'm so joyful, like, and proud of him, but just like really happy to see like it finally happen,
Yeah.
And something that
he deserves it.
Yeah. He does deserve it. He does.
It's very well deserved.
Yeah.
I started following Nick through NWA when I was first getting into wrestling. So, and because he had the suits and the way he carried himself and the way he talked, I was like, wow, this guy is the real deal. Cause he exudes confidence, I think, without even trying to exude confidence, way more than a lot of other people, just the way he carries himself and speaks. But then, we got into it because he's a big English soccer player and I'm like the Italian team. So we always used to butt heads a little bit.
United fan. Huge Man United fan.
Well, yeah. And then when the Euro Cup, when Italy beat England, we didn't speak for a while. We really weren't friends. So like we avoided each other. So it was a lot. We've come full circle though. I think we're cool now.
That's one thing. I'm like, I don't know how. I'm like, I try to get into soccer, and I'm like, he'll put it on and he's like yelling at the TV and all and I'm like,
you really don't like it at all?
I just said that I don't understand. I do think it's one of the most, like, the athletes that play the game are one of the best athletes in the world. I mean, they're going for 90 minutes, no breaks.
Yes.
There's no ass slaps happening and water on the sidelines. None of that's happening. They're literally running for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. The cardio that's involved, all of that. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I do respect the game. I just don't understand. I'm like, wait, there was 1 point scored?
Stop.
The whole 90 minutes?
It's
one
not
ball
easy.
Made it to the net?
It's about the beauty of the game. So soccer's like my number one thing. I don't know if people know this about me. I talk about it all the time. I played soccer my entire life. My father played professionally in Sicily. My uncle played professionally with the Cosmos. So he played with Pele for a little bit. I grew up with brothers. Soccer is like a lifestyle more than it is like a sport. Probably more so in like Europe and other places.
The only country that we don't recognize soccer as the greatest sport in the world is the United States of America.
Yes.
Because we're such egotistical maniacs.
Yeah.
We had to make our own football game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we weren't any good at the other one.
Right. We were getting killed in every country we went to play. And like, it's just hilarious. Yeah. Like, they were like, who is teaching you these things? Because you're not very good. But so it's great. I just think it's amazing. And if I didn't get injured, my life would have maybe been very differently when it came to soccer. Because I would have got full rides to places I would have played. Like my dream was to always play abroad and do all these things. But now I'm in pro wrestling and my life is very different. I'm not a wrestler, but I respect any athleticism.
But you're still kicking balls.
I still kick balls and I still score goals if I want to.
Yes.
And I defend myself. Okay. And I body bitches if I have to, Mickie.
Boom. Check one.
I body them out. You got to check them out. Yeah. But that's so funny.
Chest check.
It's always or a hip check. My hips are stronger than my chest, I do believe.
Same.
I got big hips. And oh my God, your dog.
She's going to come in here and lick
coming up for the lick of the chin.
Donovan's come up here because, I'm in my room. He's playing. Donovan, what are you playing over there? Sorry. I'm like, can you turn?
Oh, I don't care.
He's rocking. And then Pixie's come up. Pixie, say hello.
Hi, Pixie. If people are listening and not watching it, her dog
because this is
very slowly came up to the microphone and started licking her chin as I was talking, and it threw me off because I was like, "We're talking about Nick. Did Nick want to come in and say hi? Like, I don't know if Nick's just coming in.
Yeah,
He got super excited. You were talking about soccer, and his ears were ringing.
It's a weird show of affection, but I'm into it.
Listen, whatever works for you, because your marriage seems to be great, and I'm single, so there's that. But
you gotta be with the chin licks.
Listen, whatever works for people, I don't judge. You know what I mean? Right. Everyone's got some. You might have some weird stuff that I don't even know about. We're not that close yet, but you could tell me after the show if you don't want the whole world to know.
Oh, how weird I am. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of people, anyway, I guess we got to go back to wrestling now, but not that kind of wrestling, like professional wrestling.
Right.
You know? Another person that mentioned you this week that called you out a little bit was, a little NXT talent. Fallon Henley had, you saw that. What is your take? Are you gonna? She wants to tag with you. She said the drinks are on her. She said, Mickie, let's saddle up.
Her, and I do love a drink, as you're aware. I've been watching Fallon for a while because obviously there's been some comparisons there, and there's clearly like similarities there. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I didn't obviously think it was like an homage to me or anything like that. There's clearly more country girls in the world than just me, Well,
you're my favorite.
But I just thought it was so special and it was unique. And I thought it was cool that she asked me to do that. She said, go for the titles. And I just need her to know, I only come to win. I don't come to lose, so I'm down. I'm her Huckleberry, but we're going to win.
Ooh. Yeah, listen. Yeah. Are you going to take those titles from your girl, Chelsea Green?
Yes. Chell.
Sorry, Chelsea.
Sorry, Chell.
Back to frenemies with Chelsea. By the way, how fucking awesome is Chelsea Green doing right now? Like, she's amazing. I watch her every week. First of all, her outfits are on point. She wore this leopard jumpsuit the one week, and I had to tweet out about it because I was like, if that's not the most Jersey thing I've ever seen in my life, a onesie jumpsuit in leopard, like, come to Hoboken, Chelsea, you will do great. Every girl will be like, I want that outfit. You'll start the trend. I need that. But she's someone who I've always been a huge fan of. I always loved her. I know obviously from her days at Impact, and you're close to her, but like, the fact she's just one of the most entertaining people I've watched. Like, she's just so funny, and when she's doing commentary and just like hitting on every cylinder. And then if you go after the titles, you're gonna have to take it away from her. But I mean, I know that's your girl.
It wouldn't be the first time she loses to me, Wow.
I thought we were gonna say some nice stuff about her, but we're already coming out guns blazing.
No, I honestly, Chelsea is one of my favorites. I loved, working with her at Impact. We were talking about, almost did a thing together in WWE, and that's it.
Yeah.
Through, but she's been always one of my people on my thing of people to watch. She's so entertaining, and her facials, and she gets it. It's like the in-between stuff, and I think I find her so entertaining, and she's captivating. Obviously she's beautiful. But it's stunning. Like the little things, like she's not worried about like, embarrassing myself or like, any of those things. She's an entertainer first. And I think that's because I'm like, the entertainment's got to come first, right? Like, you can be the greatest wrestler in the world and nobody cares,
right?
Because they're not entertained. You have to be able to entertain people. And she is not only a great wrestler, but she's so damn entertaining, and she's funny, and she's witty, and she's just, she's killing it. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her to be able to like go back and knock it out of the park, like that's really, really cool. Really like this whole character of capturing this character. And like, she's just owning it, and it's so entertaining. And that's when you talk about like what's great on TV, right? Like, she's one of the highlights of like TV right now because she's so entertaining and people love it. And whether you love her or you hate her, you're entertained by her. You either want to see, most people want to see her get her butt beat, but yeah.
Listen, if you don't want to see someone get their ass beat or kick ass, you're not invested, because those are my favorite kind of people, where I'm like, I just want to see them get like lose or get their ass kicked or something, because I'm so emotionally invested. And that's how I gauge my fandom, because I'm not like a normal pro wrestling fan, because I have been watching my whole life, where I don't watch it to be like, oh, I want to see if they're going to hit this move, or like if the finisher's going to be, I watch it.
That's not a real, that's a weird, a real fan
yeah
is invested, and like that's how you know that you really have them, because if you're doing your job correctly, they should be able to sit back and go like, I'm not just watching this like critiquing, and obviously there's always, but they should be so invested that they either want to see you win because they love you and they realize the adversity you've gone through to get to this moment or whatever, or they hate your guts so much that they want to see you get your butt whipped. That's a fan. That's what fans do, like we do what we do to entertain people, and so they can forget about their day-to-day whatever's going on, and they can just lose themselves in the story. Like if you're a fan of a movie, you go to the movie and you watch the movie and you enjoy the movie and you get invested in the story and you're crying in the moments because you don't know Julia Roberts, right? Or who the character she's playing, but you're invested. You care because you're invested, right? And so and I think people to feel is what's that saying? Like, people won't remember what you said, they won't remember what you did. The only thing they're going to remember is the way you made them feel.
That's some strong shit, Mickie.
Yeah, and they're not going to remember your triple indie moonsault. They're not.
Right.
But they will remember if they wanted to see you get your ass beat.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I want to see get their ass beat. I can't personally do it, so that's kind of rough for me. I just got to watch and be like, Mickie, beat Rhea's ass for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be watching for that if that ever happens. But, I do. Speaking of women, by the way, because major announcement from like a month ago that you came out and said that you will be a part of the second all-women's pay-per-view as part of Starrcast Down Under.
I'm so excited.
This is fucking amazing. So tell me a little bit about this, because this is amazing.
I'm so excited. So we've been working on this. I've been quietly, we've been working on this for about a year now, and I'm so excited. And yeah, so it's going to be April 10th through the 15th. It'll be the first time I've gone back to Australia in six years, I believe. The last time I was there, it was with WWE. But it's obviously the second all-women's pay-per-view that I'm putting it on, and we're calling it Her. Yeah, because I felt like it's powerful, and it was like, what could we call it? Her. Like, I think Her is one of those things of like, there's always these things right now, like, I am her, she is her, and I was like, it's really, really powerful. And to follow up Empower, like Empower is so successful, and I was so happy with it, and all the feedback, all the love that it got, but also the stars that some of those stars, I think it really made some stars that night, as well as, there's people that you weren't looking at prior to that show and that are now champions or doing all kinds of amazing things on television, and be able to provide that platform. And now to be able to go to Australia for the first time, to be able to partner, with Cam and also Conrad with Starrcast. We just announced Bret Hart as the headliner, and to bring somebody like Bret Hart over. And then now to have the platform to be able to do an all-women's pay-per-view in Australia, and the second all-women's pay-per-view that I've kind of leading up. And
it's amazing.
I feel like the stake, I'm also very stressed because I feel like the, expectations are high, whereas people didn't know what to expect the first one.
The first time.
So, I'm praying, and I hope it's going to go amazing, but it's going to be an awesome blend of like stars and people coming over to Australia that probably haven't been to Australia before and for the first time, but also a way to highlight some amazing Australian talent that perhaps the US really, and people across the globe who's tuning in, hasn't seen before. So it's going to be really beautiful. I've already, just like Empower, I've opened up like where I'm going to be accepting where people can kind of email me personally. There are tapes and stuff like that to like be, thought of for the show. But I'm really excited about it, and I'm praying it's gonna kick.
It's gonna be great,
as much, if not more, as than before. But Her.
I mean,
do you love it? Do you love?
I love it. I'm already seeing it everywhere. Like, you could be like, it's her time.
Yes, her story. Yeah,
her story.
Yeah,
like it's her moment.
Powerful.
Listen,
I mean, I can pretty much anything that's her.
Her.
Yeah, I can put
I'm in.
Her.
Listen, I could have a list for you by the end of this show because I love a good pun.
I
love a good pun.
I am the punniest.
You might be the punniest, but I'm punnier. I'm Punny Her. You know what I mean?
Yes, you are. Wow.
I apologize for listeners because I don't think they realize like how weird me and Mickie are together, that like we could go on with that for another hour and just come up with her puns, go back and forth, make each other laugh so hard that we're crying because we're so weird. And it would be the best night of my life. We could just get rid of everything we already talked about and just do puns for another hour and I would have a great time.
Yeah, we'll pun it up.
But I don't have anywhere to go. You got a kid, but I don't have any responsibilities. Yeah. I'm just chilling. So Donovan's like, Mom, can we wrap this up? No, I'm just kidding. But I'm super excited for that. And I think the beauty of you opening doors for so much female talent that, might not have had that opportunity before or are really trying to showcase themselves. And you are just like, I'm going to lead the charge on this. And it's the second one. I think it's going to be even better than the first. That's my guesstimation on it. I think it's going to be even bigger. And I think it's going to be amazing. So anything we can do to help promote and boost the female stardom, I'm a big fan of that. So, you do that for me every day.
I'm going to hold you to that. Yeah, no, I'm excited. And like you said, when we talked earlier about like Nick leaving his home country to come here in the States,
right?
Because like pretty much, you can go to Japan and obviously there's tons of very successful independents and stuff, but most people want to make it to mainstream television that have started in this business. And if there's a way to like highlight some of those women for me, like over there, to where they can be seen by some of those people if they haven't had the opportunity to be seen before.
Right.
To be able to do that is pretty awesome. And I even said with the first one, and I go, sometimes it just takes one person.
Yep.
It takes one person to believe in you enough or to give you an opportunity. Well, that's all we want. That's all anybody ever wants. It's like, we all believe that we can do it. I hope that if you're out there doing this, I hope that you believe in yourself enough to believe that you can make it. But sometimes it just takes that one person to believe that you have it enough to give you that opportunity, And I feel like I was very grateful that I had people believe in me enough to give me opportunities. And I obviously wouldn't have made it as far as I have if I hadn't. Between Raven at Ring of Honor when I was there, he believed in me enough to then like bring me out to TNA and make me part of the gathering. And, Dr. Tom believed in me enough to give me an opportunity and like let me have tryouts and let me go get tryouts and just to finally get a job, and just somebody believed in my story enough to let me come to TV and do it and be a crazy stalker fan, and then so it's like someone believed in me enough for Hardcore Country to be able to do that and kind of relaunch my career there at Impact. Somebody believed in me enough to let me come be Hardcore Country at the Rumble last year. Like it sometimes just takes one person, and it can make a huge difference. And I hope that, maybe I could be that person for someone else. And
I think people would love for you to be that person
and be the next mega superstar.
Oh, man, and all because of Mickie James, Well,
all because of them, but
you do have to realize though, you've become like a pillar for female wrestling, and like I say it all the time. Me and Tony talk about it, and I'm like, she is the GOAT. You are the GOAT to me, and that's not just because we're friends. And I know it sounds like I'm kissing your ass to people listening, I'm sure, but even just in pro wrestling, from my newer fandom of the 6 years that I followed, once I started working with you and stuff, really did start watching your work. And there are people that are good. And then there are people that are great, but also want to help others be great. And that's a different kind of person. And that's what you're doing by doing this is you're like, okay, this is my career. And, I could do it and only care about myself, but you don't only care about yourself. And it's such a beautiful thing. And that's not everybody in the business when it's very easy to be selfish in this business and you're not that person. So being such a pillar and being a role model in that way is really, really awesome. And everyone should be very excited for her to present itself because it's gonna rock. Yeah. I don't know a good Australian saying. What's like a good Australian saying to be like?
Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
Yeah.
No. And I don't know what that accent was. My accents are hard.
Bad. That was bad.
Awful.
After everything nice I said, you just ruined it with the accent, but it's okay.
I cannot do accents. I cannot. I try to do an English accent. I sound like
you should have be able to do an English accent. You live with
but like a real dumb Australian, right? I try to do an Australian accent. I don't even know what that was. That wasn't Australian at all. I don't even know what that was.
That was a little scary. That was like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like that was your accent. That's
no. That's not good one either.
Oh, poor Nick. No, poor Nick's like, I have an English accent. My wife is crazy. It's
he really tolerates me. He goes through a lot. It's a lot.
But I'm super excited. And as always, Mickie, thank you so much for joining me. It's always the best time. I could talk to you for 3 hours. Literally, I could talk to you the whole rest of the night. But
I appreciate you right after we're done. We're just going to talk for the rest
of the night. I know. I'm going to call you on my way home and we're going to be like, this was great. I can't wait to hang out with you. Hopefully, I could come see you soon at some point or we can hang out or something. I'll see you in Philly for Mania.
I will see you in Philly. And if you want to come to Nashville,
some fun stuff. Listen, I'm not a country music fan unless it's Mickie James music, so.
Well, good thing because Nashville is no longer the country music capital of the world. It's just the music capital of the world.
Interesting.
Did you know that?
Wait, so what's the country music capital of the world then?
I mean, it's still, there's a lot of country music that is produced and happens here. Maybe Austin, Texas? I don't know, because Austin is very, I don't know.
Isn't Memphis a big country music place?
Well, it's Texas.
Or is it just music?
Texas country is a different type of country. You know, they have their own, it's their own like world down there. You know how Texas does.
It scares me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. I love it for the barbecue.
I do love a bit of Texas. I mean, it gets a little hot. It's
too hot for me. Yeah. I can't do the hot places. It was too hot when I went to Nashville in the summer too. I was not okay. It was at nighttime, still 90-something degrees, sweating at a country music bar. It was basically my nightmare.
You know what I hate? Being cold.
I enjoy it. I love the cold weather.
I don't like to shiver. It makes my body ache.
But do you know why I prefer cold over hot? Because if you're cold, you can always put on an extra layer. If you're hot and you're in public, you can't. There's only a certain amount you can take off before you get arrested. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? And even if I'm naked, I'm still hot. Now I'm just hot and I'm causing a scene. And I'm just sweating profusely. And the smells of people with BO, there's not smells when it's cold.
Well, that's not true. There are smells.
There are smells.
There are smells.
But those are, some people are just always smell. But I'm like, you're not going to get the BO smells if people are cold.
Because they have on 10 layers and now they're sweating in their woolly coats.
But then take one off.
10 layers of clothes because they're so, I know.
It's a lot.
I like to sweat. I actually like to sweat. I don't sweat very easily. So it takes a lot for me.
Oh, me.
I like to sweat.
Oh my God. So I like to sweat if I'm working out. That's normal.
Yeah.
But like I'm a hot-blooded Sicilian. I sweat in like a snowstorm. I'm always sweating. I'm a sweater. And I hate it about myself.
Yeah.
You ever like eat something spicy and you get the mustache driplets, like the sweat?
No.
Oh, Mickie, this is why. We're different breeds of people.
Yeah. I also don't eat a lot of spicy food because I'm Native American and my little tummy can't handle it.
I'm not a big spicy food person. I don't like it very much.
Yeah.
You're more of sweets? Do you like sweets?
I love salty and I love sweet. I love sweet and salty together.
Wow.
I love them together. It's like it's heaven is what it is.
That's what they call me.
Heaven?
No, sweet and salty. But I don't know anybody that calls me heaven, but if they want to, you can.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say sweet and salty. Because it's like the Sour Patch Kid where at first they're salty and then there's sour and then they're sweet.
I don't like
first
sour.
They're sour, then they're sweet.
I'm not into
hate sour and hate spicy.
I don't hate spicy. I can do a little bit of spice. Like I do like spice, but I have to what you would probably call
spicy,
mild.
Yeah.
Is my spice.
But me too. I'm not good at it.
I'm not.
I don't like buffalo sauce, like none of that stuff. Like I'd rather get barbecue.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
I'm starving now. I'm just letting you know. I'm very hungry.
So we
got to wrap this up because it's past my dinner time. But anyway, thank you so much.
I love you.
I hope everyone enjoyed that little part about us liking that stuff because you only get that kind of great conversation on Gabby AF, just so people know.
Real in depth. We really get down to the nitty gritty. Here.
Listen, you've came in not knowing that much about Mickie James, now you know everything about her. Yeah. So you're welcome, fans. You're welcome.
Say nada.
But Mickie, I love you so much. Seriously, you're one of my favorite people in the world.
I love you.
Thank you so much for making time to join the show tonight. I hope you had as much fun as me.
I did have so much fun, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You're killing it. I've been watching you, and Gabby AF podcast has taken off. You've had on some heavy hitters. You're so damn entertaining. I always told you were a star, and now you get to show the world that you are, and I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for always believing in me and supporting me. I love you so much. But all right, everyone, until next time, LYMNB, love you most, no backs, and thank you for listening to me and Mickie.
It's about to get Gabby AF.
We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. We about to get Gabby AF, Gabby AF. It's nothing less, cause you rockin' with the best. Now we about to get Gabby AF.